Howdy, my name is Steve Saltwick, and I'm the inaugural Senior Fellow for Braver Angels. The following video is an excerpt from a national field call in May of 2023. It describes the use of the Braver Angel Way at progressing common ground and a discussion of common values and potential solutions on the challenge of homelessness, where, especially in California and other places, this is a significant challenge for communities, not only in the treatment of homeless, but also in terms of fire safety, etc. The National Field Call is broadcast to the 1,400 most active volunteers in Braver Angels, and we think this segment will give you good information about the current project. We are working with the local Braver Angels Alliance of El Sobrante. You'll hear the two co-chairs discuss what we've done as a result of this call, and we look forward to working together with this local community and any others on this kind of solution. At the very end, there'll be contact details in case you want to get in touch with Darcy and Pam. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the segment. I look forward to hearing updates on you progressing this in your community too. Now let's turn to a different topic, from town hall to action. This is about an alliance specifically focused on action for homelessness and fire safety. And there are going to be two people talking today, Darcy Crossman and Pam Morris. And Pam, I think you're up first, right? You're muted.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Steve. So if I can just start with that first slide real quickly, the one that shows the picture of our community. Yes, so we live in Northern California. We're a small 15,000 person community surrounded by larger communities close by, like 2 miles away, that are 115,000 people. So we live in a canyon, and we have severe fire danger that we're trying to address. And the action, I'll be sharing with you how we've taken one step at a time over 2 years with consistent action to get to a place where we might actually be able to be part of the solution for this, which is saying something when you've got the billions of dollars being spent in California with no working solution. Next, please. This shows you where we live, and the red is a level 5, the highest danger fire zone. It virtually encompasses our entire living area. And the problem that really we're trying to solve is that we're trying to stop the wildfires that are happening from the homeless encampments on the hillside. Unlike the big cities that are about a half an hour away, San Francisco, Oakland, and Berkeley, who have encampments all over the streets, just people laying in the gutters. We don't have people on our streets. We have people in our hillsides. Next. And these pictures are pictures that all were started by homeless people, not necessarily in our area. Some of these are in LA. 54% of the fires in LA are by homeless encampments. 3 of these pictures are ours. People are camping on the hillsides, and what happens is, in 2018, for example, there was a fire so huge that an airplane was needed to be called to put it out, because there was a propane cylinder that was on fire that was rolling down the hill. And we live in a multi-jurisdictional area, and the dispatcher didn't know who to call to get us help. That's another layer of complexity in our area. And our name says what the problem we're solving is. We are the Alliance for Action on Homelessness and Fire Safety. Take it away, Darcy.
Okay, Pam. Next slide, Steve. So it did take a while for us to become an alliance. Right before the pandemic, we showed the documentary, and people in the community were very intrigued by Braver Angels. But I think a lot of them had a hard time imagining themselves getting together and just talking about politics. So when this issue became, really urgent in our community. It was an opportunity to bring people together to talk about, well, what solutions do we agree on? And we were able to bring in people from all parts of the community. And I think another reason why they came was because we also planned to have a follow-up town hall with the county supervisor. So they knew that it wasn't going to be just talk. We were going to present our solutions to the supervisor. So COVID was happening at this time. It was outdoors. We had 4.5 hours. We had plenty of snacks and a great lunch. And we came up with 4 goals to take the town hall. Steve, next slide. This was a great experience. Everybody loved it. I'm glad we had a hybrid because the day before there was a COVID scare. A lot of people went to Zoom, but we still had a good turnout. We had 6 groups of 5 or more people, and we worked on each group worked on one of 4 goals. How do we move them from the high fire areas? How do we ensure mutual accountability from the county's perspective and the homeless residents? And what was really important was different needs. There's so many different groups, and we saw that these solutions kind of lump them all together. So how do we find these solutions for the different root causes? And then also how to include homeless as stakeholders in the discussion. Steve, next slide.
So what we did, and we were just a ragtag group of concerned citizens out of those common ground and town hall meetings. So a small group of us decided this is really important. We've got to do something. So the first action we needed was to figure out how we could speak civilly to each other. Just as is common with any group of people, especially mixed opinions, which we wanted to have. People's feelings get hurt, people interrupt. So we did 2 DIY Braver Angel, because we weren't in alliance yet. One was a talking stick, so there was no interrupting, and the other was reflective listening. So you're allowed to disagree, but you need to show that you've understood first. And once we had trust and respect, we never missed a meeting in 2 years. And we met monthly. And our goal was to understand, how is it possible that billions of dollars are being spent and the problem is not being solved? If anything, it's getting worse. So we became, so what we did is we watched documentaries, we had speakers come, we attended government meetings, and we had discussions. And we felt we understood why it wasn't getting solved, but we didn't have a solution. Then we became aware of Community First Village in Austin, Texas, which basically, in their words, takes the unfixable, permanently broken, chronically homeless off the streets and gives them a permanent community, a permanent home. Also, there was another group there, the Haven for Hope in San Antonio, that was also something to be aware of, which is like a clearinghouse for services. And takes care of most of the other groups that might be temporarily homeless. So Eureka, we had 2 proven solutions for this large-scale problem, and they were large-scale solutions. And coincidentally, we found out that Steve Saltman himself volunteered with the Community First Village on the food truck, and did that for 3 years. And he made us aware of something called the Symposium, which was an immersive 3-day experience of seeing firsthand, how do they really do this? And this is when we decided to become an alliance, because we realized we were on the cusp of being able to be effective and we needed a broader reach. Next.
So once we found out when the symposium was going to be, we emailed and invited all the stakeholders that we were aware of in the city that's close to us, and the county, faith-based communities. And we ended up with 9 people. More wanted to go, but there was a travel ban. So 3 city officials that wanted to go ended up they couldn't, but we had 2 city council members, we had 2 NGOs who provide services to the homeless. We had a woman that lives on a bus who really wanted to be part of this solution. And we had 3 Braver Angels Alliance members. Next slide.
And so out of that group of the people that Darcy just mentioned, we decided to keep meeting because this was too important to just be an idea. So our first meeting, we had a paper with questions on it. There were 5 or 6 questions. Basically, what did you take away? What do you think we can apply to our area? What are you worried about? And we each did timed 5 minutes for everybody to express the answers to these questions. And once that listening had been really created, we went into an open debate, or not debate, but open discussion without the talking stick. And it was unbelievable to have these people that formally really weren't on the same page, honestly. And one example is the vice mayor had just received $5 million as a government grant to kind of honestly throw away on 50 homeless people. In other words, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to solve anything. And she realized after our discussion that our next move is to create a mini model of the community first, so people can experience how it works and start supporting it. She could see that 5 million would have gone better spent to that. That is really huge. Ms. Darcy?
Next slide.
About one more minute, Darcy. Okay.
Got it. Okay. So we decided to have a follow-up town hall, invite the county supervisor and the Richmond City Council. And our goal is to bring all parts of the community together, present both models, and then get the community's feedback. And up until now, there really hasn't been buy-in from the community for anything that the city has presented. There's been a lot of pushback on this issue everywhere. And so we're really hoping that we'll bring people together and they're going to see that these are great solutions. And the vice mayor is now looking for various city venues at a reduced fee to accommodate 300 for the town hall. And we're also going to have movie nights running up to the town hall during the summer. So we can show little, the Community First has a documentary we want to show. There's videos of Haven for Hope we want to show. And the challenge for our group is to convey what we experienced firsthand, because it was so uplifting that honestly it's hard to articulate. But we want to communicate what we found effective so we can inspire the community to do a little pilot. And that's it.